Welcome to another episode of This Happened Here. This edition takes you on a journey to Memphis, Tennessee. Our channel is dedicated to bringing you true and captivating stories from all over the United States and beyond. We aim to delve deep into the minds of our characters and present their stories from their unique perspectives. If you enjoy our stories, we'd love for you to show your support by subscribing to our channel, website, Somestoriesofmine.com, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Your support means everything to us. Now, inside this graveyard and written on this headstone lies evidence of one of the most horrific, heartbreaking stories of one of the largest and first baby trafficking operation that ever happened in the United States. This took place in Memphis, Tennessee, starting in the early 1920s with over 5,000 children taken. This is the story of Beulah, Georgia Tann, the baby snatcher. I am your host, LT Bartek. The headstone reads, "The Tennessee Children's Home Society, an infamous history, a tragic legacy, September 17, 1923 to December 10, 1949. In memory of the 19 children who finally rest here, unmarked if not unknown, and of all the hundreds who died under the cold, hard hand of the Tennessee Children's Home Society. Their final resting place unknown, their final peace a blessing." The hard lesson of their fate changed adoption procedure and law nationwide. This story has been told time and time again in movies such as Stolen Babies 1993, Tennessee Children's Home Scandal Investigation Discovery Series Deadly Woman titled Above the Law, aired on September 13, 2013. Told on podcasts in books such as Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate and No Mama, I Didn't Die by Devereux Brock-Eiler. Although I think all crimes are terrible, crimes against children are the most heartbreaking and should be punishable, as the Bible states, by hanging a millstone around their necks and they are drowned in the depths of the sea. Because many gruesome killers and prisoners are a result of child abuse. The trauma they had to endure can only be released through inflicting harms on others. This has to stop. Now, I don't mean to preach, but if you're here and think you might be someone who is hurting a child, stop. Now, after doing research, somehow I feel compelled to tell the story from Georgia Tann's perspective. We will be showing you the former site of the orphanage, which is now a building for Friend of All. Then, just for kicks, we will be taking you around the graveyard where the city has erected a headstone as a monument for the children that died at the Tennessee Children's Home Society. Why not? They have some really fancy headstones up in there. And before we head over to our next story, which I must say creeped me out, we will take you to Elvis Presley Boulevard and drive by his house and park, where you can climb aboard his 2 aircrafts and go inside his mansion. We didn't get a chance to do that. We were pressed for time, and this wasn't our main mission. But I will list these places as we go by while I tell you the story of Georgia Tann. Part of next week's video location creeped me out, as I mentioned before. I'm not sure why, but I will share these stories with you. So we went to the only natural lake in Tennessee to see the lake that, due to an earthquake, flowed backwards for 24 hours, and the area where people have gone missing, and where father and son duck hunters were killed by a man who suddenly died a month later. Now for this week's video. Here is the confession of Beulah Georgia Tann, as created from my crazy mind. They're coming for me, but they won't get me. This thing growing inside me will kill me before they do. It is growing, becoming more alive while taking away mine. I won't say I deserve this disease, but I know you will. I want to tell my story, not because I want sympathy, because I don't. I just need to tell it, and I don't even care if you listen. I will tell it to these four walls if I have to. I will use whatever strength I have left to tell it. Listen if you want, and leave if you must. My given name is Beulah Georgia Tann, Georgie to my, if you can call them friends. I'm 59 years old and I have uterine cancer. Guess I won't get to see the big 6-0, but I don't care now. I look forward to the day when this pain that is eating away at my body will soon be no more. I was born on July 18th, 1891 in Philadelphia, Mississippi, to Judge George Clark Tann and Beulah Yates. It was a Saturday. 3 years later, I got my brother, Rob Roy Tann. At 5 years old, my daddy told me I needed to do piano lessons. I didn't mind it at first. I was excited because I wanted to make daddy happy. I even continued these lessons until I was a teenager because my daddy told me to. But after a while, I hated the thing. It was not my dream to become the concert pianist he wanted. But I did like music and studied at the Martha Washington College in Abingdon, Virginia, where I graduated with a degree in music in 1913. I continued my studies at Columbia University in New York. There I took some courses spanning 2 summers in social work. That was when I saw how I could help these children and make some money for myself in the process. I could follow in my father's footsteps. When I was growing up, Daddy would sometimes take the orphans home with him in the hope of trying to help them somehow. Daddy, realizing that I would never be a concert pianist, helped me with my law studies and I passed the bar exam. I thought that would make Daddy love me more, but he didn't want me to practice law in Mississippi. So I went to work as a receiving director at the Kate McWilliam Powers Receiving Home for Children, hoping that would put me where I wanted to be. But they kicked me out, citing that they disagreed with my child placing methods. That was in 1924. It wasn't all bad, though, because there I met Anne Atwood. Anyway, we decided to move here to Memphis, so we packed up our 2 children and off we went. I got hired as the executive secretary of the Shelby County branch of the Tennessee Children's Home Society with the help of Camille Kelly and E.H. Crump. I had all I needed to get started in my adoption business. There I planned and carried out my perfect adoptions. These bastard children meant nothing to me, although some of them weren't really bastards. They did have parents, but I used everything up my sleeve to trick them into giving up their children, especially those divorcing parents. Then I would sell them to the rich folks who wanted them. Whenever I ran out of kids to sell, I would just steal them. Some of these mothers had no business having babies anyway. They were poor. I was in fact doing them a favor. I would take their starving children, whether they liked it or not, and give it to the families who could feed them. I would even go into prisons and mental institutions and take babies from unwed mothers. What business would a child be in prison? They could live with someone who could take care of them. Sometimes acting as welfare agent, I would go into nursery schools and take the children from single parents, falsifying documents and putting on my stern face and voice. They didn't have the nerve to confront me. When my stock ran low, I would go into hospitals, paying those greedy doctors and nurses. I would tell them to tell the parents that their babies were stillborn or died right after birth. At times, when I was really in a pickle, I would even steal children right off the street. These wealthy families were paying me large sums of money. I would do anything to keep it flowing my way. There were a few times when these poor innocent girls would give me their babies. If afterwards they changed their minds, I would tie them up in so much legal paperwork they wouldn't know what to do with themselves. Sometimes I had too many children here, and I had to keep these children sedated just to keep them quiet until someone came for them. Sometimes I would suffer a loss because some would starve to death or die from neglect. I lost count over the years of how many children died here. I had no time for them. I was busy making money, spending time with Anne and our son Jack and my adopted daughter June. Soon I was a millionaire. Having accomplished over 5,000 adoptions, I would charge $750 per child and sometimes up to $5,000. A woman, a millionaire, was unheard of in these parts, and I think that is the reason why they are coming after me. They are jealous. I bought myself a large limousine, got myself a chauffeur, and drove around the city like I was a queen. I even had rich celebrities coming to me, adopting children. I had Joan Crawford, Lena Turner, June Allison, and Dick Powell right here in this house, taking children from me and paying me a nice sum. Anyway, I have adopted Anne, just so she can have my money when I die. I just can't tell them that I'll be leaving my money to my lover. I know they were going to fight her tooth and nail if that was the case. I'm tired now. I need to rest. But before I do, I want to say I gave these children to good homes, except for the ones I sold to child labor farms and the older girls whom nobody wanted except those men who took them for themselves. I won't ask for forgiveness. I know what I did and now see what I'm afflicted with. This cancer has been my punishment. It is an awful way to go. But I hope you will feel justified that though the laws of men did not get me, the laws of nature did. Please close the door on your way out. I need to rest now. Goodbye. Beulah Georgia Tann, was laid to rest 3 days before the case against her was announced. She was one of the most heartless and greedy people to ever live. Only a few of these children ever found their birth mother, and some even died not knowing that they were even adopted. Because of Georgia Tann's horrific acts, Tennessee became the first state to lift the law of closed adoption in 1999. Unfortunately, some states still practice this. Well, that is that for now. If you found this story interesting, click the thumbs up icon, aka the like button, and subscribe for more interesting stories. Comment and let me know what you think of this story and share it with someone whom you think will like it as well. Remember to love yourself and others. And I will catch you on next week's video, where I will be bringing you to Reelfoot, Tennessee, and tell you of the time when the Mississippi ran backwards. Take care of yourself and others. Love you. Bye.